This is, of course, Fantastic Four 57. This was a book that I was targeting in the auction a couple of weeks ago. And again, I think I mentioned there were 2 single issues that stood out in a much higher grade than this. But this sort of slipped into the back of a 3-book lot. And honestly, I feel like, and we're going to take a look here for the first time, but I feel like I got a deal on this because it was not singled out in an auction where somebody could track it. I feel like once you get into the lots on Heritage, I think people get lazy and they either overpay or they don't realize what's in the lot. And so that's where you can, per book. The lots are very expensive, but per book, you end up getting a deal. Again, what I loved about this was certainly the Kirby cover, but the colors. The colors really stood out to me. Just fantastic. One of my favorite Fantastic Four Doctor Doom covers, and has Silver Surfer on it as well. So just looking at it at first glance, again, what I try and do is I try and give the book an overall assessment. Like just kind of give it a baseline before I start nitpicking defects. And just at first glance, I'm already noticing some issues here at the bottom. Right down here. A little, just slight tearing, very, very typical, as if like it's sitting on a spinner rack, or even comic book stores today, they have those metallic shelves that have the rungs in them and the books sit on it and are damaging the bottom of the books. But kind of what it looks like to me. So again, not ready to nitpick or scrutinize. Spine looks pretty typical, I would say. This is really popping here in the corner box, the white along with the red, so I like that. This corner is actually surprisingly in really good shape, which is nice. Nothing really significant there. Do have a slight fold, so that's gonna be an issue. I'm just gonna turn it over just quickly because this is one I do want to get as accurate as possible. So this one unfortunately has a bit of yellowing up and down, so this is not a shadow from my camera or anything else here. This is actually on the book, so that's disappointing. So that's going to really kill it. And again, I'm not a professional grader. I don't know. I'd have to do some research to figure out, is there sort of a minimum or maximum with something like that, with that there on the back of the book. I'm a little disappointed with that. Certainly have kind of the same situation on this side, but not as bad. Having seen that, what is my baseline? Am I starting at a 6? Possibly. I don't know if a book with that amount of damage would get a 7 or an 8. I don't think it's in the 8.0 range. So I'm going to start at a 7 as my base and just say, you know what, with no other significant defects, this book's getting a 7, but already I can tell. To me, that's a little bit of a tear. So I'm probably just keeping note of these two. Maybe the bottom part just by itself turns it into a 6.5. And I'm just kind of counting the color breaking spine ticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. That's not bad. So 2 to 3 grades off of the 7, 6.5. Maybe we're down to a 5.5 to 6 range. So I don't think it's getting the fine designation, unfortunately. However, I do love the corner box. Like, I want to give it credit for that. So I'm probably holding it a 6 right now. But then as I turn the book this way, again, as I mentioned before, this crease right here is probably where it drops it to a 5.5, maybe even a 5. And I'm looking behind me, I've got a 5.5. Honestly, it's in a little better shape than this. So I think I'm gonna give it a 5.0. Corners are pretty sharp, so I don't think we're getting down in near the very good range in the 4.0 range or anything. So that corner looks really good. Back, top and bottom are really nice, sharp, clean. It's just this discoloration, that's this tanning, and that's the tough part. Pages are probably, these could be white pages actually. So maybe that helps me. Definitely in the center it's very white. So I think I'm going to stick with the 5.0 on this and just leave it at that. So probably a book that I would keep in my PC, but potentially look to upgrade. From the front presentation, I mean, I was hoping to get a 7.0. It looks really, really good, but unfortunately, the back cover is what's going to drop this significantly for me.